All right, good evening. This is Melissa. You probably already know me. If you don't, I do random videos up here, just doing random things. But I decided I had a lot on my mind, and I was thinking about the housing industry and how a lot of people want to get homes. And, we got a home back in June, and the process was simple but complex. But I just wanted to give a little bit of input on how the process worked and how simple yet complex it could be for you to get a home yourself. Okay, credit score, I would say it has a lot to do with it. It really does. It also depends on who you go through, what bank or what place you go through to get a home. Now, mind you, I'm not a professional with this. I don't claim to be. I'm just starting. I need information myself. We were just winging it. We were blessed with the home. This is our first home. Um, and there's a lot of trials and things you go through during that process. But one of the things that you want to have is your work history, your work ethic. You got to have a good, dependable job, or two good, dependable jobs, or two jobs. Anyways, your spouse and yourself. I don't work, but they didn't base it on me. They based it on Al, because we're not married. Um, but a good, steady income, which two will be even better because I'm going to get to the point in a little bit. But a good work history, at least 2 years with the same job, at least. We got by with it being just 1 year, but he's a truck driver, so it's a little different. Truck drivers get paid decent, so that was one thing. But he had a steady history of the same kind of industry, is what I'm getting at. He drove trucks the whole time. It's just he worked with one company for a whole year. That's how that worked. What else? We chose the USDA because it was zero down. Now, I know people do the FHA, but one thing about the FHA, depending on the home you want, sometimes it could be pricey. A lot of people don't have that kind of money, A lot of people don't have thousands and thousands of dollars. And there is programs out there, but they're hard to get to, and they're just more complex than it needs to be to get it. But if you're willing and able to help people do that, you let me know, because you know with USD is good, but there's requirements behind it. But we did the USDA, which it required us to make. Well, I think that was more towards the bank than it was the USDA, but I don't know. We made a payment down, but we got that payment back. It's like $500, I think, 500 or $300. One of the two. It was in that price bracket. It wasn't a lot, but we got that back at signing. Um, One thing about USDA, what they will tell you, you have to get it inspected. We did have to pay for it to get inspected. We did not get that money back. But if you pay the right person, they can give you a full report, and they will have everything written out for you. So, like, if there's something wrong with your home and it's still approved for you to get the home with USDA, then you can literally have this record of things that need to be repaired in your home and get it done, afterwards. Because some things seem like, it's a big deal. It is, I'm gonna be honest, if I knew back then what I know now, I would have tried to get those things repaired when we got the approval for getting the home. But, we had to get a new roof for this house. The roof was good, but under USDA it wouldn't have been approved if they would not have. And it's also with who you're buying it from. If you buy it from a person that, I'm not knocking anybody's income, but if you're buying from a person that has money, they can put money back into that house and fix it the way it needs to be fixed, with the little things that need to be done for you to get approved. So the man, he made a decent income, so he was able to fix the roof and fix the windows. Windows, roofs, it has to have a stove and refrigerator. That was our requirements. I'm not saying that's everywhere, but that's what they told us. Stove and refrigerator have to work. looking back, I love our home. Not lying. I love our home. It's an older home, but it's manageable. It's manageable for us. But what I would do is I would look at different little aspects of that home before I say this is the one I want. Because a lot of things come with, buying used homes, older homes. Because all homes mostly are used, unless you get it freshly built for yourself. But look at little details in that home. Make sure you look. Don't go in with this, oh my God, I love this home. And you bypass all the features because you're going to miss something. You're going to miss a spot in the ceiling, or you're going to miss something that needed to be looked at. It could have been a mold, anything. You got to pay attention when you're going to get a home. And I'm saying this because I went in with all this enthusiasm of seeing this home that is something new to me. And I bypassed a lot of things. And really, I think we still would have gotten this home, but I'm just saying, personally, if I would have thought about it and I had other options, because at the time it was a rush with buying homes, because whenever you seen one, somebody was buying it up. So we really was, we didn't get a lot of options. We've seen several homes and they never went through. This was the only one that went through, and everything was a full process and everything. So we got this home with USDA. You have to live here for a certain amount of time before you can do anything. If you wanted to rent it out or whatever, you have to live here for, I want to say it's 6 months, but I could be lying. I don't know. Something to do with 60 days is something that's up there. I think you have 60 days to sell the home. After 60 days, you can sell it. I don't know. I don't want to get mixed up with information because me personally, I don't read all fine print. I ain't gonna lie. I just go with it. I mean, as long as I'm not doing anything I shouldn't do, and I know that I'm not getting true. Now, mind you, I look into details. I'm gonna buy something, but I'm gonna look into details after I buy it, because guess what? A lot of times, the things that you think that, oh, I thought it through, and you get it, and it's like, oh my God, I shouldn't have got that because it's this way, not this way. For example, we got a semi. We was getting a semi, and well, I say got, but we were in the process of buying it from a company that I was driving for. And we paid on it, but it's having all these different kind of issues, because with the newer trucks, they have these systems on them, and the systems is still new, so it messes up a lot. Damn it, I can't even think of what it's called. Excuse my language, but I kept having system issues, and I looked at the paperwork after, and this is like a year or two later. Like, well, maybe not that long, maybe about a month, and I won't say a month. What the hell am I talking about? It's not a month. It's more like 6 months to a year after we got the truck, I think. I'm getting off subject. I'm kind of tired, but I looked at the paperwork again, and I'm looking at it because I'm like seeing the price of it's not going down, right? So that's what it was. It was that he got a thing in, and it was saying how much was owed on the truck, and this and this and this. But it was going to be a couple of years, and he was going to pay all this money on this truck. Now, mind you, that's not a problem. But if your truck is constantly in and out the shop, and you're paying all this money for something that you can't really make money off of, it just does, it defeats the purpose. That's not the purpose of being out there on the road for 6, 7, 8 months. Most of your whole living is on a road. It's not the purpose. And we weren't getting checks most weeks because the truck being in the shop, we didn't get any money. So it was bad. But so I looked into that and found out that we weren't getting that truck anytime soon. And we was like, oh, we got it. I'm writing down how many payments, because that's what I do. I write down how long it's going to take us to pay this off. And I'm thinking, well, it's going to be paid off this time. It wasn't. It was going to be like 5 years or something. It was going to be a long time, 2, 3, 5 years. I don't know, something like that. But it was longer than we was expecting. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to be paid off. So we talked to the people, we contacted them. Well, he did, because I didn't talk to him. He contacted the people, and they didn't want to hear that. They didn't want to hear that he didn't want to drive the truck. But that was a blessing for us, because guess what? When they said that, they gave him the offer to get this other truck. Catcher is, he wasn't even supposed to get in the truck that he actually got, because it was supposed to go to someone else, you know, some other person in the company. So so he got that truck, and we drove it until it was time for us to get off the road, and that's what we did. And he was driving for somebody else, and then the truck sat, and we eventually sold it. But basically my point is, look into details, even if it's afterwards. Maybe there's a chance that you can get out of whatever it is that you got into. But buying a USDA home is like, it's worth it if a home is what you want, but a home is a big responsibility, and a lot of things happen during the process of you getting a home. Like, okay, things break. An older home, if you get an older home, you're going to have something break within those first 6 months. And they're not going to, we have the home warranty thing. We have that, and it's not covered under home warranty. They just don't cover that kind of stuff unless it costs a certain amount. That's how much they cover. But if it's something that you can get fixed and it's not going to cost that much, even if it's a couple $100, they're not going to cover it. I've talked to several people, and they told me the same thing. They don't cover it unless it's a certain amount. So that's the dinger. That's the bad part of getting a used home that's older. You will have problems. But the up part, most homes that are older are cheaper. We didn't pay a lot for this home, which in a sense we did, because it wasn't no $50,000 home. It wasn't that. It ain't going to be paid off within 3 years. It's not that cheap, but it's not no $200,000, $300,000 home. It's not no expensive home. It's something that you can afford and that you can, you know, handle. But what I wanted to get at as well is, when you go on Zillow and all those home sites, and they give you this estimate of how much your payment will run if you get this home at this price, that is not true. Do not fall for that. Your home will be $300, or your home will be $500, $600. Do not fall for that, because it's going to be way more. Like, if you cannot afford an $800 payment every month, do not do it. Our home is $100-something thousand. It ain't in the high $100,000, the lower. But we paid $8-something a month. But that is with escrow and all the other stuff that comes out. And is it the insurance every year? I think it's with the insurance every year. But I'm telling you this because we went in thinking, oh, the payment's going to be a good payment. It is if you didn't have to pay the extra, but it's always good to get the escrow and the insurance taken out, because you don't want that headache. You know, they're taking that headache off of you, which a lot of people will disagree with me. They say, like, when you pay yourself, it's cheaper. We have the same insurance company that they got our insurance taken out, the escrow with. But our true payment is low. It's like $4 something if we didn't have to pay escrow. But escrow covers the things that you might need a loan out of your home. Escrow is right there. But I did not really get into details of the process of buying a home, and I'm sorry about that. I have no storage on my phone. But if you have any questions and I have the answer to it, I will give it to you. If you have any questions, if you want to buy a home, yeah, just get with me. I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask questions, because we went through the process and it was fairly easy. You just got to have your ducks in a row, and you have to know what you're talking about, and you have to know exactly what you want. Inspection, some money down. What else? Inspection, some money down. refrigerator and stove, it has to be in the home. It has to be approved to be a USDA. This is strictly for USDA. It has to be approved. It cannot have no issues, no mold, no nothing. Everything has to be livable. The roof has to be good. If the people that you're buying from are willing to help you to fix it before you move in, that's better. Because the USDA is not going to approve it if you cannot get that fixed. They're not. They just don't work that way. Maybe they didn't work in our sense, and maybe they work for other people. I have no idea. But it didn't work for us to get it without it being fixed. So I'm just trying to give that helpful information. But it's always good to have yourself situated when you're getting ready to move as well. Make sure you don't wait to the last minute to get all your stuff together. Because I did. We had stuff together because Al was packing, but I was like, oh, we got time. But when it got to the time of doing it, it was stressful. It was stressful. We had to do so many runs. We had so much stuff. 5 years of living in the same place, consuming all this stuff. It's like piles and piles of stuff. And it took me and Al, mostly Al, 6 months to get this house decent enough that it doesn't look super duper bad, to get boxes and stuff situated. We had so much stuff. Doodle's room is still a hectic place, but I'm telling you this because if you want a home, just know that there's stuff that comes behind it. It's just not a pretty picture. It's just not a great time. Oh, I got a new home. Unless you have money that's coming out your behind and you just have it like that, a home is not that simple. It's more complex, and it's a really big responsibility that nobody thinks about until it's last minute, and they're like, oh, I can't handle this, and get rid of it. It's not like that. A home is precious, and it's a memory with your children. Get it, keep it, and have a happy life with your family. Y'all be blessed and get this home and do what you got to do to keep it. Now, don't go out there selling your body. I'm just kidding. Whatever you want to do. But anyways, y'all have a wonderful night.